Chapter 25. We continue as we see the kids smile and happily cling to Himiyama. The kids tell her that they love her and how her hair is so fluffy. Fujishiro walks and tells her that it looks like the kids are really attached to her now. Himiyama smiles and replies that she was anxious, but she's happy they welcomed her. Fujishiro smiles and says, "In my opinion, Misaki-sensei is doing a great job." As they are talking, we see that the kids are cleaning the class in the back. As one of the girls is moving a table, suddenly something drops out of it. She picks it up as she says that this thing fell out of Kokonoi-kun's desk. She looks at it and sees that it's Misaki-sensei's. Now we see Fujishiro telling the MC that they're not angry with him, but stealing from others is wrong. She tells him to be honest and apologize. The MC looks emotionless as he tells them that he didn't do it. Fujishiro asks him, then why was it in his desk? He replies and tells her that he doesn't know. Fujishiro gets angry and screams at him to tell them the truth. She tells him that this counts as theft, just like shoplifting. This is the kind of thing an adult would be arrested for. The MC calmly replies and says, "I see, but it's not me who stole that, so..." Hearing this makes Fujishiro even more angry. Himiyama tries to tell Fujishiro to calm down with a weak voice. As this is happening, all the students witness this. Himiyama pats the MC's head and tells Fujishiro that he'll understand it if she explains it properly. He replies and tells her that she can say what she wants, but it wasn't him, so he can't tell them anything. Fujishiro gets more angry and tells him that if he won't admit it, she's going to inform his parents. He tells her that she's free to do that. Hearing this pisses her off even more. Fujishiro looks at him and gets worried as she thinks that this is troublesome. This child doesn't have any awareness that what he did was wrong. He probably just stole it because he was curious about Misaki-sensei. But she has to make sure children clearly understand the difference between right and wrong. Fujishiro screams and says, "I'll actually do it, you know. Is that what you want to happen?" He replies, and tells her that she's so persistent. Himiyama tells Fujishiro that she doesn't have to take it this far. Fujishiro screams and gets angry at Himiyama, and tells her that if they can't get through to him, then they'll have to let his parents scold him. What Yukido did is against the law. She continues and says that for Yukido's sake, they have to harden their hearts here. Himiyama looks worried as she says, "I suppose you're right. I really didn't want things to escalate this far, but..." Before she could finish, the MC asks her if she's done talking. Hinagi is waiting for him, so he'd like to go home soon. Fujishiro hears him and tells him that they're not finished yet. Suddenly, a kid starts calling the MC a thief, and another one tells him to just apologize already. The teachers hear this and get shocked. They think that this is bad. As they see the kids gossip among each other, Fujishiro thinks that what was supposed to be a minor incident here dragged on, and it left a strong impression on the students. She looks at the MC with guilt and thinks that it's her fault. She should have addressed it privately when no one was around. Surely he must be feeling hurt too. She thinks that if everyone starts thinking that Yukido is a thief, it'll end badly. She tells him that he needs to reflect properly when he gets home and lets him go. Now we see little Hinagi waiting outside. The MC apologizes to her for taking too long. She tells him that it's all right. She suddenly gets angry and tells him that it's awful. There's no way he would do something like that. He asks her if she believes him. She loudly tells him, "Of course I would." She smiles and tells him that they are childhood friends. She knows for a fact that he isn't the type to do bad things. Hearing this makes him thank her. She hears him thank her and giggles. As they are walking home, we see the MC say that he doesn't know why Himiyama's thing was in his desk. Hinagi replies and tells him perhaps the person who found it mistook it as his. He tells her that only girls have stuff like that. Hinagi smiles and says that even her mama has one. The MC suddenly realizes something as he thinks. Seeing this makes her ask him what's wrong. He tells her that Himiyama-sensei mentioned it was lost yesterday after classes, but he went straight home with Hinagi yesterday. Hinagi cheers up and smiles as she says that they also played at the park together. Hearing all this makes him say, "So that means there's no way I could have stolen it, right?" Now at his house, we see the mom pick up the call and hear that it's from Yukido's school. She talks on the phone and cuts the call. As she keeps the phone down, she looks worried. She goes to the MC and asks him if he stole something from the teacher. Hearing this makes the sister ask what's this about. He replies and tells the mom that he didn't take anything. The mom continues and tells him that the teacher said something else. She looks worried as she asks him if something's wrong, and if there's something he wants, she can buy it for him, so he doesn't have to steal. As she's saying this, the sister tries to stop the mom. Suddenly, the MC sounds cold as he says, As I thought, you don't believe me. Hearing this shocks the mother. He gets up from the table and walks away as he tells her that he's sorry for causing trouble, but he didn't steal anything, and he doesn't want anything. He tells her that he'll make sure to settle this immediately. As he's about to close the door, the mom tells him to wait, and that she only wanted to hear him out. She trusts him. She's always trusted him. As he closes the door with a cold expression, he says, "Is that so? Thank you." The mom and the sister look shocked and guilt-ridden as they see him in this state. The sister gets frustrated as she asks, "Why does this keep happening over and over again?" The mom stands there as she thinks that he's trying to bear all the burden alone, just like before. Even as his mother, she can't believe in him like she should. As she says this, she holds her chest, which pains seeing her son like this. As we see the MC sitting at his table in his room, the mother thinks, what exactly does he intend to do by saying he'll resolve this? The next day, we see the MC looking at his desk as the others look at him and grin behind his back. We see that the MC's desk and his books have been vandalized. Yukito asks a girl if she knows who did this. The girl screams and tells him that it's awful to steal someone else's stuff and to keep his hands off her stuff. As he looks at his ruined books, he hears everyone call him stupid, thief, and all types of hurtful stuff. Fujishiro and Himiyama enter the class and greet the students. Suddenly, Himiyama notices that they all are quiet. Seeing this confuses her. Suddenly, the MC comes to her and calls her. She asks him what's wrong. He tells her that his indoor shoes are missing. Hearing this shocks her. Her face looks terrified as she thinks that the bullying has already begun. She thinks that it's because of them recklessly accusing him in front of everyone. Fujishiro tries damage control and asks the kids who is responsible for hiding Yukito's shoes. The kids look unbothered. One says that he doesn't know, and isn't this just karma? He's a thief, so he got robbed. Another one says that thieves are also liars, so Yukito might just be lying. Fujishiro tells them to stop this at once. As she looks at the little shit's devilish smiles, she thinks that the notion takes hold, that Yukito is a person they can bully and wound without guilt. Bullying is an issue teachers cannot turn a blind eye to. Any teacher who would avoid it has no right to be one. She can't turn a blind eye to this. She suddenly calls everyone, but the MC speaks over her and says, "I'll wait until lunch break. Until that time, return my indoor shoes to me, and if you know who's responsible, please inform me." He repeats again and tells the class that the time limit is until lunch break. Seeing the MC speak like this worries Himiyama and Fujishiro. One of the kids taunts him and asks, what's he gonna do if his shoes are still missing by lunch break? The girl tells him that isn't he just trying to cover the fact that he's a thief, while another one tells him that he's the worst. While some kids just completely ignore him, the MC looks at all of them with a cold gaze. As he stands at the center of the class, he tells them that since they all are in this together, everyone will be his enemy. The kids laugh at him and tell him to bring it on and mock him. Fujishiro tells the kids that they'll do self-study now and asks the MC to please come with her. Now, in a different room, we see Himiyama asking the MC if he's all right. He replies and asks, "What do you mean?" Fujishiro grabs his shoulders and tells him that it's okay and she'll make sure to protect him. After they finish talking, they'll all look for his shoes. Even she'll help him out. He tells her that she really doesn't need to bother searching. Fujishiro tells him to stop being stubborn and trust in his sensei. He asks her, "How can I trust sensei when sensei doesn't even trust me?" Hearing this shocks her. He turns towards Himiyama and asks her when did she notice her stuff was gone. Himiyama starts thinking and tells him that it was most likely after school the day before yesterday. He asks her if she's sure about that. She replies and says, "I don't think I'm mistaken." He continues and tells her that's definitely strange. That day, he was playing with Suzurikawa Hinagi, so when exactly could he have stolen it? Hearing this confuses and surprises her. Himiyama starts to get confused as she says, "Is that so? Then maybe it was after the 5th period?" He asks her, "Didn't you just say that it was after school?" And asks her if she just lied right now. Himiyama screams and says that she's not lying. Suddenly, Fujishiro gets angry and aggressively grabs him and screams, "You're still going on about that?" She admits that she was wrong to blame him like that in front of everyone. But right now, it's only the teachers here, so he can be honest with them. She screams and tells him that if he apologizes properly, the senseis can become his allies. She will properly scold the kids who were mean to him. She promises that they'll never turn their backs on him. Himiyama looks worried as she tells the MC that she's not mad at him, and Fujishiro-sensei is his ally too. If he's interested about her, it would make her so happy, but it's wrong to secretly take something which is not his. Suddenly the MC starts laughing hysterically. Seeing this shocks Himiyama. With a cold voice, he tells her that he doesn't need an ally. Hearing this shocks her. As the MC pulls out a paper, Fujishiro gets angry at him and tells him that because he keeps acting like this, his shoes got hidden. Why can't he understand that? He holds the paper in front of Himiyama and tells her to look at it. He asks her, when did her belongings get stolen? Suddenly, Fujishiro looks furious as she smacks the paper out of his hand and pushes him in the process, as she screams, "Enough already!" As the MC is falling, Himiyama catches him. The MC sounds defeated as he says that he put so much effort into making that. As he sees the torn papers on the floor, he says, "I finally understand. It was my fault, wasn't it?" Fujishiro looks regretful as she tells him that she was too carried away by her feelings as well, and tries to apologize to him, but he interrupts her and tells her that Sensei doesn't care about the truth at all. If that's the case, she should have said so from the start, that it's inconvenient if he's not the one at fault. Fujishiro tries asking him, what is he saying? But he kicks the paper and tells them that he feels like such an idiot for making this. He should have known it was naive to think words alone would get through. It is clear now. His real error was expecting them to act like proper teachers. As he says this, he apologizes to them. Hearing this shocks the teachers. He suddenly looks at them both with hate and says, "It turns out that the two of you were also my enemies." Now we see Yukito walking out of the room after the talk. As Himiyama is on the floor, she looks sad and asks, why did things end up like this? She thinks that just a few days ago, everything was going smoothly, and she felt fulfilled as a teacher. She thought it was her true calling. As she's thinking this, she suddenly looks at the paper which is on the floor and calls Fujishiro. Fujishiro looks at the paper and gets shocked as she sees that the paper contains Yukito's schedule from 2 days ago. They both read the paper and get more shocked. They see that on the day of the incident, Yukito went with Hinagi and greeted Takigawa-san in the office and played on the swing in the park. Himiyama sees this and starts panicking and worrying as she thinks, if it wasn't Yukito, who did it? She remembers everything she said to Yukito and feels bad about it. Fujishiro tells Himiyama to calm down and to look at a part of the schedule. She runs out as she says that they need to confirm this with Takigawa-san. Himiyama agrees and goes with her. In the administrative office, we see Takigawa-san hold the student register and say that he remembers the MC. He went home holding hands with a girl. It was right after the bell rang, so before 3 o'clock. He says that Yukito was a good kid who greeted him properly. Hearing this shocks Himiyama. She starts crying and breaks down immediately. Takigawa-san sees this and gets worried as he asks her what's wrong. Himiyama cries uncontrollably as she thinks that everything was a mistake. She remembers the MC and thinks that he was right about everything from the beginning. She questions herself. Why didn't she at least try to hear him out? She didn't believe him, even though he pleaded so much. That's why he abandoned her and cut ties with her. She feels the cold scythe of her guilt on her neck, as she thinks that even if it comes to understand and feel remorse now, it's already too late. Now in the class, we see the kids looking at the MC and laughing at him and staring daggers at him. Suddenly, someone says, "It's the thief's fault. Lunch is gross." Another tells him to get lost. Suddenly, he stands up. Seeing this shocks the girl sitting next to him. The MC tells them that time's up. All of them start mocking and saying sarcastic things like, "This is bad, he might kill us all. So you're not just a thief, but also a murderer? Somebody, call the police." With a cold voice, he tells them that he's always been fine with just having enemies. As he says this, he walks out of the class. As he goes, the kids wonder where he is going. They laugh and say that even if he says everyone is his enemy, what can he do all by himself? Himiyama takes class without the MC, like there's been no change. After school, we see the kids going to their shoe locker and seeing that all their outdoor shoes are missing. Himiyama rushes to them as she hears the commotion and asks them what's wrong. The kids tell her that their outdoor shoes are gone. Everyone's searching, but they can't find them anywhere. As the kid is saying this, suddenly another kid comes from outside and tells everyone that the shoes are in the garden. Hearing this confuses the other kids. They go out and see that all their shoes have been put in a trash can and thrown into the pond. Everyone looks at this and thinks that this is cruel and there's no way they can go home like this. Suddenly someone says the MC's name. Hearing this shocks Himiyama. The kid continues and says that Yukido is the only one who left early. Another joins in and says that there's no one else who would do this other than him. All the kids get angry and start saying things like, I can't forgive him, doing this kind of harassment just because he can't win. I'm going to beat him to a pulp. The girls tell the boys to beat Yukido up for them too. Hearing all this shocks the teachers. Himiyama looks scared as she thinks that there's no doubt Yukido's the one who did it, but they made him out to be the culprit for something he never did. No matter how convinced she was, no matter how clear it appeared, she simply can't make Yukido out to be the culprit once more without any evidence. Fujishiro tells all the kids to settle down and that they'll talk to Yukido tomorrow. The kids get their shoes as they look angry and furious. Himiyama sees their expressions and thinks, and once again, we handled things incorrectly. The next day, we see all the kids ganging up on the MC and kicking him as he lies on the floor and begs them to stop as it's hurting him. The kids continue as they call him a bastard and accuse him of doing it. Himiyama and Fujishiro see this and look at the scene with horror and do nothing as the kids scream. And this is how this chapter ends. Hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you.